Great morning. Today is Friday, May 20th. So let's grab some cards and do the, excuse me, things fell. We'll do the Earth Power Oracle again today for the focus of the day. I was just listening to something very interesting this morning, the origin of AIDS. And really interesting thing. Now I'm just short ways into it, but basically come down to monkey virus, and it really it came out of, now what was interesting is they said if they took the AIDS virus and injected it into the monkeys, basically it would disappear. Okay, the monkeys would not get the human virus thing, it would transmute and they'd be quite fine. But what happened with the AIDS thing, they used monkey kidneys, and they've done this before to create the polio vaccine. So they used these parts of monkeys to create these vaccines, and the vaccines are what created this AIDS virus. So really interesting stuff when they're talking about how they're making these vaccines and what actually happened. And people are not aware of it, okay? But yeah, very, very interesting. Very interesting documentary. So I'm going to watch some more of it. And they did, one doctor is really angry, he said, because they could make these synthetic things now with the protein, but no, they're still using the monkey parts to do it, which is which is difficult. It's it can continue to create other viruses and other problems. And it's because the manufacturers, it's more expensive to do it the other way. Much more safe, but more expensive. So there you have it. I was doing a reading on it, and that's what it came down to. It came down to monetary stuff, those of wealthy, taking the easy way out and creating these viruses. Just, oh my God. Anyway, back to the focus of the day. Got a little sidetracked. So is your focus number 1? Is it number 2? Or is your focus number 3? What is your focus today? Well, it seems we have the same things coming out of all those cards. I swear I did shuffle them, but we have the same 3 coming out that we've had recently. So this is, when that keeps happening, it's telling me something, that this is something that people need to pay attention to, that it's something that's ongoing, and maybe they need to spend a little more time with it. So the first one is Delphi. I receive divine messages constantly and clearly. I look for the truth in any situation. I know myself, and power comes from the inside out. And that's where we get everything. When you commune with the divine within and you're actually doing the search, things begin to open up and you start getting intuitions. You start looking deeper that dispels some of the erroneous things that one has carried for a long time that keeps one bound on the wheel of karma. So it's saying, continue to look deeper and look at the truth in the situation. Just don't accept things of face value. Don't accept things in the face value of it. Look deeper. And because, yes, in the end, reality and coming to realization comes from the inside out. It doesn't come from the outside in. It comes from that internal search. So going on to focus number 2, it's the Wolumban, the Mount Warning again. I create my own destiny and opportunities. I am humbly eternal. Humbly eternal. So again, we have free will. So look at the choices that one is making, because that creates your destiny, your opportunities. Same thing when you look at the astrology. Now, I call the astrological things, these are not things that are going to definitely happen, but these are trials that are coming up, opportunities that are coming up. What are you going to do with it? Okay? Are you going to buy into it, or are you going to look deeper? So these are things that come up as challenges and opportunities. That's the way that I look at astrology. So the last one is, focus 3 is Taos again. We are one. I exercise self-care and care for my community. There is not one spiritual path, but many. Okay? So whatever the path is you're doing, if it's not a path of ego, okay, if it's not a path of ego, then it's looking towards the divine, okay? Looking towards surrendering and growing. Again, love, light, those things of value, compassion, empathy, those things. So if that's the path you're on, then again, look deeper and continue your path and continue to care for humanity. If you are on the path of, what's the path of the dark or satanic, the satanic path that opens you up to demons, and the dark elements is about ego. Wanting power, wanting to control, wanting to, and not caring about anybody else. It's all about you and your bottom line. These are the ones that get sucked into when they become wealthy, and it says it's harder for a person to enter heaven than a wealthy person to enter heaven as it is for a camel to go through the eye of the needle. Why is that? Because they get wealth and they think they can control everyone, everything, and so they go down this path that is not beneficial at all. So anyway, this is about continuing the journey. Now, I did watch something yesterday, extremely disturbing, and I'm going to do some more research about the Masonic Lodge. They get in there thinking that it's a Christian thing. They talk about the gnosis and the other things, but it starts, like I've talked about before, shadow, darkness comes in, and they give a lot of things that are true, but then they start filtering in things that are untrue and keep pulling you away from the light. And before you know it, you've entered into the dark. So what I had found out with that, and like I said, I'm going to do more research into it, that the very last degree, the 33rd degree of the Masonic Lodge, is out and out Satanism. They look to Lucifer, they look to Satan as the light, that he's the one with the power. If you want power on earth, then that's who you follow, okay? Because Christ is ineffective, is basically what they say. So they start out thinking it's a Christian-based things, but if you look at the things that they're going through, and you look at it, it's just very, very dark, and it keeps getting darker and darker and darker. And they keep taking things in that are of value, but twisting it and twisting it and twisting it until they become so confused and so off the path that they've gotten in too deep and too dark to get out. So, yeah. No Christian organization is going to tell you you need to be silent and not speak, or we'll rip your tongue out, or we'll kill you, or well, that is not. Christ gave things that are open to give the good news. If something has to be hidden, then it's not good news, okay? Then it's something dark. It's something to be looked at, and, like I said, I've had my own things with, there was supposed to be when I was in Hawaii, and I was in, like I said, started out in an esoteric Christian order, and these things came to me, and they were supposed to be saying they were from the Galactic Federation thing, and but they were saying Christ was not real, Christ was a hologram, and this, and I stood up and said, absolutely not. Okay? So they, wanted to get me out of there and as far away from me as possible, and had said a number of my kind had killed a number of their kind. In other words, you've got to stand for truth, and you can't let these things pull you in. They were saying, you've been selected to head up the new order and this and that and all of it, kind of like, Christ out in the thing, and Satan says, well, if all you have to do is follow down and worship me, and I'll give you everything in the world here. Everything you see, you can have. Okay? And what did he say? Get behind me, Satan. Okay, get behind me. It's not happening. Don't tempt the Lord your God. You don't tempt, So again, these dark elements want to hold out, you can have name, fame, fortune. You can have all these things if you just follow the dark side. So you've got to be, like it says, as wise as a serpent and as gentle as a dove. So when you get offered these things, you say, no. Not only no, but hell no, I'm not going for that. And you stick to the light. So name, fame, fortune, people that are out for that, and they get it, they find out it's a double-edged sword, and it is not the grand thing that they thought it would be. They wind up, in the end, really wishing they hadn't had it, because they lose their anonymity. They can't walk freely anymore. You're in that trap of a jail of your own making, basically. It was the choice that one had made. So again, in this, what we were looking at today, look at your choices. What are they coming from? Are they coming from ego, wanting to, and I've had people that say, in the cards, that the most powerful card is the one that, you start the path, and you want the magician. And when I hear that, I'm absolutely appalled to hear that. Because the magician is about manipulation, control, okay? Ego, okay? It's playing to ego. And what do you have with magicians? Okay? What do you have with magicians? They're liars, they're fakes, okay? They're pulling a fast one, okay? So, yeah, no, you start out the journey, okay, kind of ignorant at the first. You've got all these pie-in-the-sky ideals. Where is he going? He's looking, he's ready to walk off a cliff. because he's got no knowledge at the moment. In the end point, you come to that 0 point balance. You come to awareness. You come to that knowledge. You come to that freedom. But it's not through control. It's not through manipulation. It's not through using the things of the world, which is what he wants to do. He wants to use the things of the world, emotions, mental, action. It's not based on spirit. Okay, when you get further along, then you come to strength, which is more about spiritual understanding. Here it is. Here's the manipulator. Wanting to control, wanting to, use the mind, emotions, and actions to get ahead in the world. Okay? So no, that is not the highest. That is not the most important, the strongest one in the deck. Okay? That's just barely starting out. You barely started out, and you start out from ego. How many people start out the journey and because they want more power, more control, more, so yeah, no. So again, you need to look at these things. It's not about power, control, being able to manipulate things in the world situation, whether they're going to use manipulation in the form of mental stuff, emotional stuff, actions. And that's what we see the Uberite doing. Okay? They're trying to manipulate and control what's happening in the world with emotion, mental, and action. Okay? So be aware of that. And Christ came to free people. Came to tell them what is of importance. Yet we have those that are the wealthy, the ones that want to go out and bow down to Satan and really become Satanists, although they won't say that. But really, that's what they've done. They've taken the hook of the darkness and want to control, want to manipulate, want to have their own way in everything rather than surrendering to the divine is, the creator, sustainer, okay, of life. So anyway, yeah, when I go through the tarot, I see it a little differently than a number of people. I mean, these are people I respect, but when I hear them saying that, I'm just like aghast and agog and just gobsmacked, if you will, because that's the start of the journey. This is the very start of the journey. And they want to see it as the most important, the most powerful, the most, then you're headed out for a ride and not a good one, if this is what you claim is the most important thing in the deck, okay? So anyway, on that note, I'm going to leave this here. I guess we got off a little bit off of the focus of the day cards and went to a little deeper, but that's okay. That's okay. It is what it is. So thanks for tuning in. Much love and light, and I'll see you online.